She could have just texted. She had planned to just text. But after everything she saw last night, a text wasn't enough. She needed to talk about it, and she needed to see Elle's face when she did. She took a breath, then finally hit call. The screen shifted, ringing once, twice, 3 times. Then Elle's face appeared, sharp, warm, knowing. She was sitting on her own couch, hair damp like she had just gotten out of the shower, wearing nothing but a black tank top. She smirked. "Morning, beautiful." Riley swallowed. "Morning." Elle tilted her head, studying her. "You look thoughtful." Riley let out a small breath. "Yeah, I am." Her fingers tightened around the phone, heartbeat steady but heavy. "I went to a sex party last night." Ella blinked. Then she grinned, slow, wide, amused. "You did what?" Riley huffed a laugh, rubbing her forehead. "Yeah, my girls and I went." Elle let out a low chuckle. "Without me?" Riley hesitated. "I wanted to see it for myself first." That made Elle pause. She studied Riley for a long moment, then nodded like she respected the hell out of that answer. "Good?" Riley blinked. "Good?" Elle smirked. "Yeah, that tells me something about you." She leaned back against the couch, arms stretching behind her head, all slow confidence. "Now," she said, eyes locked onto Riley's through the screen. "Tell me everything." She told Elle everything. The moment they walked in, the air thick with heat and possibility, the playrooms, the lounge, the way people moved together like this was second nature. The couple on the chaise, how slow and sensual it was, the way the man worshipped the woman, taking his time. The 2 men, how she had never seen anything like it before, how she had stood there for 5 whole minutes, unable to look away. The group in the corner, the rhythm of their bodies, the fluidity of the pleasure they shared. The man between 2 women, the way he kissed and licked and touched them both, equally, fully. Talia, taking 2 men at once, loving it, lost in it. Bria, letting herself be touched by 2 women for the first time, giving in to something new. And finally, herself, how she had just watched, how she had been so turned on, not by one thing, but by everything. How she liked watching. By the time she stopped talking, her face was warm, her breath a little uneven. Elle had been silent the whole time, just listening, taking her in. Now, she finally spoke. "Damn." Riley huffed a laugh, rubbing her forehead. "Yeah." Elle's smirk was slow, lazy. "And how do you feel about that?" Riley exhaled. "I don't know." Elle's eyes darkened slightly. "I think you do." Riley swallowed. She did. She knew exactly how she felt. And Elle? Elle could see right through her. Elle tilted her head. "Now, you're starting to see it for yourself." Riley stayed quiet, letting those words settle into her skin. She wasn't wrong. She had felt something shift inside her last night. Something big, something undeniable. Elle's voice softened. "I like that you went." Riley blinked. "Yeah?" Elle nodded. "Yeah, you could have waited for me to introduce you to that world. But you didn't. You wanted to see it for yourself, on your own terms." She leaned forward slightly, her eyes locked onto Riley's. "That turns me on." Riley's breath caught in her throat. She knew Elle wasn't just talking about the party anymore. She was talking about Riley, about who Riley was becoming, about what came next. Elle leaned back, watching her carefully. Then she said it. "Come over." Riley didn't hesitate. "Send the Addie, I'm on my way." She hadn't even thought before saying yes, didn't even hesitate, because whatever was about to happen tonight, she wanted it. Her pulse throbbed in her throat, between her thighs, everywhere. She wanted to know what it felt like to be touched by Elle, to be wanted by someone who was so sure of herself, so in control, so damn good at reading her. The GPS led her to a quiet neighborhood just outside the city where the houses were sleek, modern, private. She parked, exhaling slowly. Then she grabbed her bag, stepped out, and walked toward Elle's door. When Riley pulled up, Elle was already waiting for her at the door, leaning against the frame, arms crossed over her chest. She was wearing black sweatpants and a fitted tank top, and it was stupidly attractive. "Hey, stranger," Elle murmured, eyes dragging over her slow and intentional. Riley smirked, stepping closer. "You just saw me an hour ago." Elle shrugged, stepping back to let her inside. "Yeah, but that was FaceTime. This is different." The door clicked shut behind them, sealing them into the quiet warmth of Elle's home. It was not what Riley expected. Minimalist, clean, but intentional. Dark wood floors, exposed brick, plants lining the windowsill, trailing over shelves, breathing life into the space. Framed art, a mix of abstract pieces and black portraits, bold, vibrant. And the kitchen? Yeah. The kitchen was high-end as hell. Stainless steel, everything. Marble countertops, a massive island with bar stools tucked neatly underneath. Riley let out a low whistle. "Okay, firefighter money. I see you." Ella smirked, closing the distance between them. "It's called having taste." Riley turned to face her fully, her body heating under Elle's gaze. She could feel it, the shift, the pull, the way the air between them thickened. Elle reached out, fingertips grazing the hem of Riley's shirt. "You still thinking about last night?" she asked, voice low. Riley exhaled slowly. "Yeah." Ella smirked. "Good." Then she leaned in, her lips brushing against Riley's ear as she whispered, "Let me give you something else to think about." Riley's breath caught, and just like that, her knees were useless. Elle took her time, slow, unhurried, intentional. She led Riley to the couch, pressing her down onto the cushions, climbing over her, straddling her thighs. Their mouths met, a slow drag of lips, a deep inhale, a surrender. Ella kissed her like she had all the time in the world. And Riley? Riley let herself be kissed. Ella's hands skimmed down her body, slipping under the hem of her shirt, pushing it up, exposing skin. Her mouth followed, warm, wet kisses pressed along her collarbone, her sternum, the swell of her breasts. Riley tilted her head back, exhaling sharply as Elle's lips closed around one, her tongue flicking, teasing, just enough to make Riley's hips lift. And Elle? Elle noticed. She smirked against Riley's skin, her fingers dipping lower, slipping beneath the waistband of her sweatpants. Riley inhaled sharply as Elle found her center, her fingers gliding easily through the heat, teasing. "Damn, baby," Elle murmured against her skin. "Soaked." Riley bit her lip, swallowing a moan. "It's your fault," she admitted, voice breathless. Ella chuckled, pressing a kiss to the center of her chest. "Oh, I know." Then she was moving, sliding down Riley's body, peeling away her sweatpants, leaving her bare and exposed. Elle settled, eyes dark and knowing. Then she smirked, and Riley stopped breathing. Elle's fingers wrapped around her wrists, pinned, controlled, right where Elle wanted her. Riley had always felt like she was in control of herself, her reactions, her body. But not now, not with Elle. Elle's lips were at her neck first, warm, deliberate, dragging slow kisses along her jawline, her pulse point, the hollow of her throat. Riley let out a shaky breath, her body already trembling beneath Elle's hands. "Relax," Elle murmured against her. Skin, voice low, commanding. "You nervous?" Elle asked. Riley's throat felt dry. "No." Ella hummed, leaning forward, pressing a single kiss just below Riley's belly button. "Good." she whispered. Then don't move. The first flick of Elle's tongue was slow, precise, just a taste. Riley's hips jerked. Elle chuckled against her. I said don't move. And then she started for real, deep, slow, full. Riley's head dropped back against the couch, fingers gripping the cushions, struggling to stay still. Everything was measured, intentional, a perfect mix of pressure and teasing. Riley let out a broken gasp, her thighs tensing, her entire body fighting against the wave that was already building too fast. Elle knew, she always knew, and she pulled back just enough to slow her down. Riley let out a desperate sound, frustrated, needy. Elle smirked against her skin. I told you not to move. Riley whimpered, her back arching as Elle pinned her down. I said, Elle repeated, voice low, steady, in full control. Don't move. Riley screamed as her entire body shook, and Elle just kept going until Riley went completely slack, her muscles trembling, her chest rising and falling in uneven, heavy breaths. Elle was licking her lips, smirking as she sat up, dragging her hand up Riley's stomach, watching her body still tremble. She leaned in, pressing a kiss against Riley's open mouth, letting her savor the taste. Good girl, Ella murmured. Riley could barely respond, could barely think, could barely breathe, and she knew, without a doubt, this wasn't over, not even close. The next morning, the sun streamed in through the blinds, casting soft golden lines across the bed, across Riley's bare skin. Ella exhaled, shifting slightly. Her eyes opened, still heavy with sleep, but focused immediately on Riley. The first thing Elle noticed when she woke up was warmth. Not just the kind that came from the morning sun filtering through the curtains, but the kind that came from a body pressed against hers. Riley. She was still there. Elle shifted slightly, her muscles relaxed, her body loose in a way that only came after a night like last night. Her arm was draped over Riley's waist, her hand resting against soft, bare skin. Riley was still sleeping, breath slow even, lips slightly parted. For a moment, Elle just watched her. She wasn't the type to get caught up in moments. But right now, she let herself have this one. She let herself just be here. Because something about Riley felt new, different, not in a this could be love kind of way. Elle ne pas fait ça. But in a this could be something worth holding on to for a little while longer kind of way. And that was rare. She exhaled slowly, tightening her grip around Riley's waist for just a second before pressing a soft, lingering kiss to her bare shoulder. Riley stirred, letting out a soft hum before blinking her eyes open. For a moment, she just lay there, still, warm, pliant against Elle's chest. Then her lips curved into a sleepy smirk. You staring at me? Her voice was rough with sleep, low and teasing. Elle grinned. You sound cute in the morning. Riley let out a soft laugh, her eyes still half-lidded. You dodged the question. Elle smirked, pressing another slow kiss to the curve of her shoulder. Maybe. The morning after, light, easy, unspoken. The smell of eggs and toast drifted through the air, warm and familiar, as Riley sat at Elle's small kitchen table, rolling her neck, feeling loose, relaxed, and well-rested. Elle moved around the kitchen with calm efficiency, barefoot, wearing just a tank top and loose sweats, sleeves pushed up as she plated food like it was second nature. I didn't expect you to cook, Riley said, raising an eyebrow as Elle set a plate in front of her. It's eggs and toast, not a five-star meal, Elle deadpanned, sliding into the seat across from her with her own plate. Riley smirked. Still, could have just let me go hungry. Elle took a bite, lifting a slow, unimpressed brow. And ruin my reputation as your first? Riley paused, fork hovering over her plate. Elle leaned back, smirking now. That's right, I heard you last night. First time all the way with a woman. Riley let out a quiet groan, shaking her head. I should have known you were going to bring that up. Elle just hummed, popping a piece of toast in her mouth. So, I'm the best you ever had, huh? Riley rolled her eyes, stabbing at her eggs. You're the only. That's not the flex you think it is. Elle grinned. I don't know. I feel pretty accomplished. Riley gave her a flat look. That's wild. Elle let out a quiet chuckle, low and smooth, like she was only half trying. And it was in that moment that Riley noticed something. Elle wasn't dry, but she also wasn't overly expressive. She was just laid back, quietly funny, but in a way that didn't try too hard. Riley tilted her head slightly, taking that in. Not in a let me analyze you so I can fall in love with you way. Just in an, oh, this is who you are way. She could appreciate that. They ate in comfortable silence for a moment, just the soft scrape of forks against plates, the distant hum of the city outside. Elle sipped her coffee, then looked at her. You good? Riley nodded slowly. Yeah, she was good. She took another bite, letting the moment just be what it was. And that was enough. The ride home was quiet. Her body still felt loose, at ease, thoroughly satisfied. Her mind? It wasn't racing with questions. It wasn't overanalyzing. It was just acknowledging. That was her first time letting a woman take her all the way. And she liked it. She liked that it had been Elle. She didn't need it to be more than that. As she pulled up to her place, exhaling slowly, she let herself just be. No expectations, no questions. Just a woman who had tried something new and liked it. Elle was propped up in bed, hoodie draped off one shoulder, eyes sharp but relaxed, her fact time lit up with Riley's name. She smirked. Oh, so I do get a call back? Riley rolled her eyes, sinking further into her couch. Don't act brand new. Elle let out a low chuckle, shifting slightly, adjusting the phone in her hand. What's up, Riley? Riley exhaled. Not much. Just checking in. The call stretched into light conversation after that. Just jokes, casual teasing, talking about nothing and everything. A few days later, the friend group regroups. Riley's apartment smelled like garlic and spices, the air warm with the scent of Thai food and red wine. The coffee table was covered in half-empty takeout containers, bottles of wine, and a few scattered napkins. The playlist in the background was set to 90s R&B, smooth and low, the kind of music that made you want to sink deeper into the couch and let the night stretch out slow. And that's exactly what they were doing. The girls had all settled in, socks off, legs stretched, wine glasses in hand, hair up in messy buns or scarves. This was one of those easy, necessary nights where time didn't matter, where nothing else existed except this moment, where they could finally talk about everything. And they had a lot to talk about. Sierra breaks the silence. Sierra took a slow sip from her glass, rolling her eyes as she set it down. I didn't do anything, but it was amazing to see. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still thinking about it for sure. The room erupted into laughter. Talia smirked. Right? That shit was wild. Simone nodded, raising her glass. Seconded. I was just there watching, but I can't even lie. That was some shit. Bria leaned forward, grinning. Oh, we talking about it? Bet. Because y'all, I got something to say. Bria set her wine glass down, exhaling dramatically. Listen, I ain't never been with a woman before. Never even thought about it like that. Talia smirked. And yet, Bria side-eyed her. And yet, the room laughed. Bria shook her head. I don't even know how it happened. One minute we're talking, vibing, And the next? One of them is kissing me, and the other one is sliding my bra off, like she done did it 1,000 times before. The room exploded again. Bria sighed, shaking her head. I don't even have words. It was different, soft but not timid. They just knew what they were doing. Like I didn't have to guide them, they just handled it. Talia leaned in. Handled it how? Bria smirked. Oh, they ate me up, bitch. The screaming that followed nearly shook the walls. Sierra clutched her chest. Oh my God, Simone wiped her eyes. So, you gonna do it again? Bria hesitated. I mean, maybe? Talia threw a napkin at her. You lying. Bria grinned. Okay, okay. I liked it, but I don't know if I want it in my real life or just in that space. Riley sipped her wine. That makes sense, though. Some things just belong in the moment. Bria exhaled. Yeah, but I liked it. That's all I got. Talia smirked. For now. Bria rolled her eyes. Simone turned to Nia. All right, you were on your lil flirty shit. How was that? Nia lifted a shoulder. I mean, it was cool. Riley squinted at her. Nah, you got more to say than that. Nia let out a slow exhale, swirling her wine glass. Then she smirked. So, I might have gotten that couple's number. The room exploded. Talia gasped. Bitch, no you did not. Sierra choked on her wine. Wait, what? You? Nia laughed, holding up her hands. I don't know. We were talking. It was vibey. And then they were like, we should all get drinks sometime. And I was like, you know what? Why not? Simone blinked. Are you considering it? Nia bit her lip, then shrugged. I don't know, but the idea doesn't sound bad. Talia stood up dramatically. I am shook. Bria clapped her hands. See, I thought it was gonna be me and my two women, but no. Nia done flipped the script. Nia just smirked. We'll see. Talia stretched her legs out, taking a deep breath. So, I guess it's my turn. Sierra snorted. You got nothing to explain. We all saw you. Talia grinned. Listen, y'all, that was my first time doing two men at once. Bria gasped. Really? Talia nodded. Yep, never had two before. Simone leaned in. And? Talia let out a satisfied sigh. That shit was amazing. Riley laughed. Break it down. Talia licked her lips. First of all, having one man in your mouth and another deep in you at the same time? Whew. The screaming that followed could have raised the dead. Bria fell out laughing. Oh my God. Talia grinned. I didn't know if I'd be into it, but the way they handled me, baby, I was in heaven. Sierra smirked. So, you'd do it again? Talia raised an eyebrow. Absolutely, immediately. Simone shook her head, laughing. Well, we know who's going back first. Talia shrugged, grinning. A bitch has needs. Talia nudged Riley, eyes twinkling with pure mischief. All right, your turn. So, let's just start with the fact that I had no business being that turned on. The room erupted into laughter. She told them about how she had stumbled into the room and saw her on her knees, one man gripping her waist, the other fisting her hair. Listen, I wasn't prepared. Riley shook her head. I walked in and bam, Talia got a thing in her mouth and another in her. The screaming that followed was immediate. Bria fell back into the couch. Oh my God! Talia cackled, completely unbothered. And I did that shit well, didn't I? Sierra covered her face. Lord Jesus. Riley wasn't done. But here's the thing. I wasn't just shocked. I was stuck. Like, I should have turned around, should have kept it moving, but no. I just stood there, watching, like I was about to start taking notes. Simone raised an eyebrow. And how did that make you feel, Professor? Riley licked her lips. Hot. It made me feel hot. The room erupted again. Talia pointed at her. See? I knew it, Riley set her wine glass down. And then there was Bria. Bria froze mid-sip. Oh, Lord, Riley nodded. Oh, Lord, indeed, because first of all, she gestured wildly, I didn't expect to see you in a damn candle-lit fantasy room, laid out, getting your soul snatched by two women. More laughter, more teasing, more chaos. But then Nia leaned forward. Okay, but you still haven't told us what moment got you the most. Riley hesitated. Then she sighed. The two men. The room went silent for a second. Then Sierra raised an eyebrow. Two men? Riley nodded slowly, shifting in her seat. It was intense, y'all. Like, I stood there for 5 minutes, just watching. Bria gasped. Not 5 minutes, bitch? Talia smirked. Oh, this must have been good. Riley let out a breath. It really was. Riley licked her lips, remembering. Bria shook her head. See, now I need details. Riley spared no detail. It was hot, like really fucking hot. And I never thought I'd be into that. But watching them, the way they touched each other, the way they moved together, I felt that shit. Simone smirked. So, that's 3 things we know about Riley now. Threesomes turn her on, women turn her on, and two men together turn her on. Talia pointed her glass at Riley. Bitch, welcome to the Fluidity Club. Riley groaned, covering her face. I hate you. The teasing settled, and then Bria gave Riley a knowing look. So, did you tell Elle? Riley hesitated. Then she let out a slow breath. The next day, I texted her. Simone raised an eyebrow. And? Riley sighed. I said, so, I did a thing. And she responded instantly like, oh, do tell. Bria smirked. Nosy ass. Riley nodded. So, I told her. I told her about the party, about how it turned me on, and she just took it in, like no judgment, just curiosity. And then she said, Sierra leaned forward. Oh, this is about to be good. Riley exhaled. She told me to come over. The room paused. Then, chaos. Talia slapped the couch. I fucking knew it. Bria shook her head. Oh, this girl was not letting you sit in all that sexual energy alone. Simone smirked. So, what happened? Riley rubbed a hand down her face. I let her eat the box. The reaction was instant. Bria nearly spilled her wine. Bitch! Talia stood up. Oh my God, your first time all the way with a woman. Riley just nodded, exhaling. Sierra blinked. And? Riley licked her lips, remembering. It was everything. Talia dropped onto the couch dramatically. Y'all, I'm weak. Riley smirked. She knew what she was doing. Like, really knew. Bria sighed. Of course she did. She's a bisexual firefighter who be at sex parties. She is trained for this. The room burst into laughter. Riley shook her head, taking a sip of wine. Y'all are ridiculous, Simone smirked. And now we all know why you've been so damn relaxed the last few days. Riley let out a soft chuckle. Yeah, they weren't wrong. Sierra smirked. So, what now? Is that it? Riley leaned back, running her finger along the rim of her wine glass. We FaceTimed a few days later, just talking, catching up, and before we hung up, she said, she hesitated. Then she smirked. She said, you seem like the type who likes a slow burn. Take your time, Riley. You'll be back. The room went silent for half a second. Then Bria let out the loudest groan. Bitch, she got you. Talia fell back against the couch. Oh, you're calling her again. It's already decided. Simone sipped her wine. She's not wrong. Sierra nodded. And, what did you say? Riley exhaled, then smirked. Nothing. I just let it sit. And in the back of her mind, that truth was already there. Because Elle might not be wrong. And Riley wasn't sure what that meant yet, but she knew she was going to find out. Elle wasn't wrong. And Riley? She's not done figuring out what that means. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the final chapter of Riley and Elle's journey. Part 5 drops next week. And trust me, you're going to want to be there when it all unfolds.